Good afternoon. We're here today with Mr. Ken Sadler, a long-term resident here at Londonderry. We're here. He is a jack of all trades, lots of very interesting things. I know I'm going to give the people a little bit of background and then you can add to it. Mr. Ken grew up in New Orleans. Yep.
Yes.
And we are lucky enough to have him here. He grew up in New Orleans. He met his wife through a blind date up in the DC area. And then his wife and he traveled the world because he was in the military. They raised how many children?
5.
5 children, 3 of which at one time they sailed around the Caribbean for 2 years with on a boat with 2 dogs, a cat, and
2 dogs and a cat.
And 3 children. Mr. Sadler, with all of that background, how did you end up here at Londonderry? And how long have you been here?
Well, I've been here about 8.5 years.
Okay.
We'll get that out of the way. We sailed in 82 from that trip. We sailed back into the Chesapeake. We came up here and fell in love with the Chesapeake. We came up here before we went out on the trip. And we just stayed. We just decided not to go back to New Orleans. And we stayed here and have loved it, you know.
Well, we're lucky to have you. So spending 2 years on a boat, just randomly sailing up the Chesapeake and fell in love here with the area. I know you've been a businessman. I know you've done a lot in the community. I also know you as an artist. I do want to expand on that a little, but he does lots of things in the community here at Londonderry and out in the greater community, both in the arts and in the giving. Tell me a little bit about your clowning around time in Talbot County.
Well, we jumped. We started a thing here called Caring Clowns.
Okay.
And I was Dr. Goodwrench.
Okay.
And I had a nurse, Lily Bell, and we had several other doctors. We would go to the hospital every week and just walk about. I mean, we'd go wherever we wanted to go. At first, they limited us, and there were complaints as to how come the clowns aren't coming to my ward or whatever. And so they turned us.
I thought there'd be complaints trying to get you out, but they wanted him more in the hospital.
We would just knock on the door and say, would you like a visit? And stick a clown face in. We were.
Well, maybe this Halloween, Mr. Goodwrench will make an appearance here at Londonderry, because
Halloween.
here at Londonderry we do a lot. Well, you could do it any day. It would tickle me, but we do a lot of activities, and Mr. Ken is very involved here at Londonderry. One of the things you've been involved in here is a lot of the arts. I see you, I don't know, I've seen you do things out in the greater community. He recently won an award for Best in Show at, what was the name of that?
River Arts.
River Arts.
And Chestertown. River Arts. It's sort of like the Academy of Arts here.
Okay. River Arts in Chestertown had a show, and you recently won. I saw you on the front page. But early on in my first week here, there was a unique statue that I noticed in the living room. And it's a green statue, round and circle. And we were at that time redoing the living room, and we weren't sure we had a home for it. Mr. Ken had several pieces in the living room at that time, and we were redoing the decorations, and we weren't sure we had a home. And I just acquired the piece, not knowing that it represents community. And Mr. Ken gladly loaned it to me, and it has its place in my office, and I treasure it. If you want to tell them a little bit about it,
Well, it represents community, which is what Londonderry is about.
Yep.
And it just just a representation of a group of people with arms on shoulders and hanging out.
Tell me your favorite part about living here at Londonderry.
Well, I think you hit it with the co-op. The concept of a co-op is important, and a lot of people don't understand it, but it has financial ramifications to the members, and it has governance ramifications, because we not theoretically, we actually, the residents own the whole place, the common grounds as well as their home.
Londonderry is a corporation with stocks, and when Mr. Sadler is talking, each resident purchases stocks here at Londonderry depending on the square footage of the cottage they live in. So in essence, we own stock, but you work with operations, which is my team, to keep Londonderry running. Operations gets to do dining and housekeeping, maintenance, accounting, grounds, security, transportation. And I am responsible for reporting not only to the board of directors, but to the residents, like at a resident meeting.
Absolutely.
And letting them know what's going on in the community from our perspective. So you said your favorite thing is the co-op. I know you were...
Well, that's just an important aspect. The other thing that I would say is that Londonderry works. The concept, the design is superb. The services are excellent. And, you know, from delivering dinner to security, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, it really is it works.
It works. Other than, and you're here with your wife.
Yeah.
And in the area, I know you still have children, and you have 15 grandchildren, or do you have more than that?
No, that's it.
15 grandchildren and a few
Yeah,
great-grandchildren.
about 5 or 6. I don't know I don't know their names.
Well, and they're all pretty much in the Maryland, Virginia area, correct?
No.
Where?
One lives mostly in Charleston,
Okay.
and one lives totally in Colorado, and one is currently in Germany. So
Oh, wow.
2 are around here. One has a home in Easton, and one has a home in Centerville.
Nice. So you get to see them.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen your family come for different things here at Londonderry, brunches or lunches. You're involved in, and you can check me if I'm wrong, you're involved in the men's group,
Yes.
right? You come to all the residents' meetings. I know I see you there. You're involved in what else?
Well, the ukulele group.
Ukulele.
We're I had never played ukulele until this group started.
Okay.
And about 6 months in, Jonathan, who's the head of it, leader, said, well, I think we're going to add harmonica. So I'm just loving playing the harmonica, the uke and the harmonica. And we go over to Hartfield's and other places and just play and sing a little bit.
And you're part of the Jammers,
Singing group.
the singing group here.
A lot of my involvements are musical. On Monday we have a music appreciation session, and then we have the Jammers, the singing group, the youth group, and the men's group.
Wow. Well, Mr. Sadler keeps very busy here at Londonderry. You also tell us a little bit about, you enjoy the Manor House, and you have family stay there at times.
Oh, yes.
That's another perk for our residents.
Another asset.
Asset.
Sarah has a study. Well, you know, something to mention is we sort of watched Londonderry grow because Sarah, my wife, founded Evergreen Cove.
Which is right next door to Londonderry, for those of you who don't know.
We would drive by, you know, and see this swamp begin to get converted into a place. And then I happened to know Carol Abrazizi, who was the original director. And before we moved here, she came over to the house, and we went through all the financials of current Evergreen, and she put her stamp of approval on moving to Evergreen, not to Evergreen, to London.
To Londonderry. So you've seen Londonderry from the beginning.
Yeah, watched it develop and never thought about living here.
And what convinced you to live here? What was the convincing thing that
I would
had you
say
move
the
here?
convincing thing was my 80th birthday. We put our house out in the suburbs of Oxford on the market because it was time. It was 3.5 acres, and the gentleman would come and say, "Oh, the tree blew down. That'll be $1,500." And so we decided it was time to go. We were going to go to Easton. Then we put it on the market, and it didn't sell. And it didn't sell in like 3 years. And my real estate son watched the price come down, and then he bought it.
That's one way of selling it.
But that 80th birthday occurred during that non-sale time, and I said, man. And a resident here said, you ought to come look. Joan Cox, who has since died, said, you ought to come look at Londonderry. And so we did, and it very quickly, we were on I don't know, maybe a sailing trip somewhere, and the house came on the market, and son Doug came and videoed. And we looked at the video and said, yeah, we'll take it. And so it happened, just so happened quickly.
And that's what we tell a lot of people here, that Londonderry has a wonderful reputation, but we really do rely on our current residents, and they speak about it to their friends and their families, and the next thing you know, you're part of the community.
That was exactly what happened.
And that's exactly what happened.
She said, come see, and I said, sure. And there we were.
And there you were.
And here we are.
And you've enjoyed your time on the shore.
Yeah, it's been good.
It's
been,
good.
What did I say, 8.5 years?
Yeah.
A while. And one thing I would mention, if you're looking at it, come early.
Yeah, that's true.
Come before you need to.
I do want to show the folks his best in show if you missed it. This was his best in show from Chestertown.
Very early painting.
It's very pretty. Well, we are honored to have you here at Londonderry. You bring a lot of interesting things to the mix, and I smile every time I see you.